Good day. My name is Melodiano Campo, and I am an environmental scientist and an assistant professor. Join me in a series of videos that focus on port ecology and marine environmental science. Today, I introduce marine biofouling species in Philippine coastlines, especially along ports. The Philippines is an archipelago, has numerous ports lining our coastlines, and it is essential to know the different organisms that are living there. Ports are parts of coastlines which have been altered to berth and anchor ships. It is important that we identify the marine fouling communities there, as there can be indigenous and non indigenous species too. Indigenous species are those that are native to the Philippines, and non indigenous ones are the others that come from other regions of the world. How come there are non indigenous species? Due to marine traffic, ships from other regions may bring foreign organisms via hull fouling and ballast water. Some of these organisms can be biologically invasive, and as invasives, they pose economic and ecological effects to our local communities. Let us begin with a roster of indigenous species that have been identified by the protocol of the Portec Project. The Portec project is a research which was designed to establish Philippine port biological baselines. This is the PICES collector that has been used to gather samples for the identification of organisms in the coastlines. It is composed of a bucket lid where you have four petri dishes attached to it. In the middle, there is a hole through which your nylon rope will go through. One end of the nylon rope will be attached to the port and any structure there which can serve as anchor, while the other end has a cement weight attached to it to make sure that the Pisces collector is submerged under the water for the specific period of time where you will get your samples. After around 60 days or so, the collectors are retrieved, a petri dish is collected, and organisms in the petri dish will be identified. Here are the two species that we will be examining in this video. We have Modulus modulaides and Magallana bilineata.
Modulus modulaides, commonly known as mabahong tahong or brown horse mussel, belongs to the phylum Mollusca. Some of its distinctive features include its brown equivalve shell. Equivalve means valves with the same length or form. Its front margin of valves extends beyond the umbones or the tip, showing a hump. This species is native to the Arctic, Northern Atlantic, and Pacific Oceans. The horse mussel undergoes a life cycle involving spawning, with adults releasing eggs and sperm. Fertilized eggs develop into planktonic larvae that settle on rocky substrates, metamorphose into juveniles, and attach using bisel threads. As juveniles grow, they become adult horse mussels, contributing to marine ecosystems through filter feeding and habitat provision. There is no widely recognized information indicating that this species is considered invasive in areas outside its native range. Information specific to the occurrence of this species outside its native range is not readily available. These are some of the photos from Vortec. These are some of the photos from online databases. Unfortunately, there is no current literature on its potential impacts on Philippine coastal ecosystems. Its introduction outside its natural range could potentially lead to ecological impacts. However, specific information about its presence and potential effects in the Philippines would require more current and localized research. Magallana bilineata, commonly known as rock oyster, hooded oyster, sisi, or talabang kabayo, belongs to the phylum Mollusca. Some of its distinctive features include its inequivalve crescent-shaped shell with a larger left valve. Its right valve is almost flat, and tiny folds inside the shell, called chromata, are present. This species is native to the Indo-Pacific and Eastern Atlantic. Its life cycle involves spawning, with adults releasing eggs and sperm. Fertilized eggs develop into planktonic trophophore larvae, then veligers. After drifting in the water, veligers settle on substrates, undergo metamorphosis, and become sedentary juveniles. These juveniles grow into adult oysters, characterized by their distinctive shells and filter feed in shallow coastal waters. Although a vital commercial species in the Philippines, this species has been identified as an invasive species in northern Queensland, Australia. Despite its wide distribution in the Indo-West Pacific, there appears to be a first record of this species in Singapore and Australia. These are some of the photos from Portec. These are some of the photos from online databases. Bilineata is an important aquaculture species as it is a major source of food and livelihood in many coastal communities. Its flesh is considered a sought-after food commodity due to its sweetness and creaminess, while its shells are hung on ropes and suspended in water columns to be used as settlement substrates for competent larvae to produce the next generations of oysters.
So we've seen two organisms in this video, and we will come up with more individuals in our next video. If you are interested in our work, please send an email to mbocampo@up.edu.ph. There is always the need to take care of our environment. It all starts with our little efforts. Together, we can save the seas of the Philippines and make it sustainable.